guys, before I start the video, don't forget to vote in the upper right corner for which car you think is going to win this race. And thanks to everybody for joining me for this special edition April 1st episode of Cars and Zebras. Also, check us out on Instagram. Come on, let's hit it. This is a 1973 Buick Century Grand Sport. And I already know what your initial thoughts are. It's, damn, that looks fast. Is that a 455? Nah, bruh, it's a 350. Motherfucker. And this thing doesn't have that lowly 175 horsepower 350 that was in the base model Century. This one's a Grand Sport, so you get bumped up all the way to 195 horsepower at 4,000 RPM and 290 pound-feet of earthquake-causing torque at 2,800 RPM.
Please stay calm, it's just a Buick driving by.
And I sure hope you like buying race gas because this thing has a compression ratio of 8.5 to 1. Astronomical. Oddly enough, a Saginaw 3-speed was still the standard transmission in these cars, but you could option for a 4-speed, or like this one, you could get the 3-speed automatic. And do you guys like turbo 400s? Well, too bad, this one's a TH350. But what do you think of that interior? I really love it. I think it looks absolutely awesome, and it is extra creamy, which is just the way I like my mac and cheese. And I already know what you guys are thinking, is that this car doesn't seem to be set up for drag racing. Well, that's because I haven't told you what rear gearing it has. The stock rear gearing on a Century Grand Sport was 308, but this car's got some options, boys. I'm talking 273 gears. Boom! I just made my point. And that's how it works, right? The lower the number, the lower your ET. So yeah, the math holds true.
You're too stupid to have a good time.
And if all that hasn't convinced you that this car is built for drag racing, well then, why don't you take a seat? Because we're going to talk a little bit about its weight. With driver, this thing is coming in at only 4,200 pounds. It's a featherweight. Have you ever seen a drag car coming in at less than 4,200 pounds? I don't think so. The Buick Century Grand Sport sold all right in 1973. In total, there were 6,637 units. But if we break that down, it was about 4,900 were the 350 cars like this one. But enough talk about this drag strip monster. Let's check out its opponent. This is a 1969 Copo Camaro. And these things are okay, but they're a little commonplace. I mean, you see them for sale on every street corner for a few $100. And that's probably because the original engines were just a little bit anemic. I mean, they only made 425 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque, so you're not gonna really impress too many people with those numbers. But this specific car, which is a real deal Copo Camaro, well, the owner pulled the original numbers matching engine to save it, and instead he swapped in a different engine, which to me it sounds kind of like a boat anchor. I guess it's something called a ZL1, and apparently the block heads and intake were made from aluminum, not to mention a Holley 850 and a forged crank. All in, they put out 430 horsepower at 5,200 RPM and 450 pound-feet of torque at 4,400 RPM, but the word on the street is it actually made over 500 horsepower and about 550 pound-feet of torque with its compression ratio of 12 to 1. Oh, jeez. This thing just kind of makes me tired and bored. There were a couple transmission options available in the Copo Camaros. You could get the Turbo 400 3-speed automatic, or like this one, you could get a 4-speed manual. Out back, putting the power to the ground is a set of 410 gears and Positraction. And I guess you could say that I'm positive that this car doesn't stand a chance against that Buick. And here's another category where the Camaro really suffers, and that's its weight. With driver, this car is coming in at 3,517 pounds. And I think we all know the reason for that thing being so heavy. It's all that darn aluminum. You gotta get all that out of there and stuff in some good old-fashioned American iron. That'll really save you some weight and make this car fly. Even though I think we all know how this one's turning out, let's see what these two cars can do on the drag strip.
Oh, we put a build them higher. Yeah, put them too high and then some things will really
The Camaro barely took that one, running a 13.15 at 108.16 miles per hour. And the Buick ran a blistering 16.75 at 82.66 miles per hour. That's what I'm talking about. High score wins, am I right, bros? Let's check that out one more time.
Oh, we put a bit higher. Yeah. Put them too high and then some things will really
Thanks for checking out this drag race, you guys, and I'll see you at the next one.